COVID-19.
Yeah, little bit of COVID there, just creeping in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Neil Pickup, the fat lad, with you in the mother fluffing house. And for those of you who are arm wrestling regulars, arm wrestling fans of any description, a man sat opposite me needs no introduction anywhere in the world. It's the Enigma of rage, Engin Terzi. Just throwing off a bit of COVID. Just a little bit of a cough, cleared that right up. It's too angry for COVID to even live there. It's like arm wrestling's own version of Chuck Norris. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. We're back again. For those of you watching the show, yesterday, myself and my mate Engin here, we had, what did we have, like 4 attempts at this show?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And the technical gremlins were against us. We actually did, what I'm going to say, 35 minutes of the greatest show on arm wrestling content that's ever been done between two guys ever. That's just my honest opinion. What do you think, Engin?
Yes, it was. But it wasn't a technical problem. It was because of you getting old and forgot to record it.
Mate, I used to be... No, honestly, anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Oh, it was really bad. We get, oh, it's gone wrong, let's do it again. And we did like 4 takes. And I think we did 35 minutes, about 10 minutes, about 15 minutes, another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh. And after that, we're like, no, fuck it. That's
yeah. Let's do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow we did.
Yeah.
We've done enough. But
yeah.
Hey, you've kept that swarthy look. It's still working for you, and you've been doing a bit of training. And,
The truth is, I just woke up. That's why I told you that. I am gonna be 15 minutes late. That's why, because in the night it's hard to sleep. It's too hot, and then I wake up like 12:45 or something, like 15 minutes before we are going to meet. So I said, I need to have breakfast.
Yeah.
So that's why I told you I'm going to play.
And come round a bit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've got to have sympathy with it. Even here in the UK, evenings, it's getting now, I don't know, 28, 30 degrees, which for us is warm. God knows what it's like in Turkey at the moment. It must be really bad if you're struggling with humidity.
The humidity, so I'm like 500 meters from the seaside, so the humidity is very high. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice place to live, though, I bet, mate.
Yep. Someday, I would like you to visit us.
I would absolutely love to come over there. I know my son Dempsey. He's coming up. He's like, as soon as I get old enough, he wants to train with you. So he's keen.
Yes, he's more than welcome. And, we are making some meetings, like I, Ferit, Osman, and Arif, and other national team, like 80 to 90% of the senior national team. We are regularly meeting every 2-3 weeks because we are from different parts of my country. It's a big country. So we're going to have this Sunday again. So maybe someday when we all meet, and hide out. Yeah. And it would be great. Yeah.
And does the Wolf still make it out there? Niazi's over there. He does a bit with you.
Niazi is just an interesting guy. He doesn't train at all. He's now 50 years old. He just comes. Last time I saw him, in Istanbul, he just came and, he beats almost all of them, except Arif and Ferit. He just comes and beats everyone from the national team,
For those of you out there watching the show that are not familiar with or do not know Kurt the Wolf Niazi, what an hombre that guy is. He is ace. If you go to the World Championships, if you go to the European Championships and you see the Turkish team, their president, the federation president, very smart, good-looking guy, suited and booted, bad mother fluffer. 101. That motherfucker is iron. Let me tell you now, he will take that suit off and whip your ass. He's serious. One of my old competitors love the man. Yeah. He's quality. Yeah. Great top roller, one of the best top rolls I've ever seen. Absolutely phenomenal. And he is arm wrestling to the core in the Engin. I mean, he loves it.
Yeah. He, the young generation, they don't know him, after the competition, you see all those athletes, and then he comes with the, suit and everything, 50 years old man. And then whenever they hold with him, and they're like, they are looking at each other, who's this guy? Who's this guy? But I will tell you something, people who depend only on their power, in their competition years, when they get older, they are not that effective. But the people who made difference with the quality, like Niazi, it doesn't matter. He still has that quality, and he is still making the difference whenever he goes around. You will see that. But people who do depend on the horsepower when they get older, when their hormonal levels going down, you understand, they are not that effective anymore. But Niazi is just super strong tendons, incredible pronation and hand control. Still, I'm like, every time I train with him, I'm like, it doesn't matter if I am better or he is better or something, but, every time I pull with him, I feel like something different, like, what the hell are you doing, Like, what kind of power are you generating, especially when you put the strap on there? I mean, it is not something that, like you can get by regular those pronation trainings or something. He's just doing something, and he is doing over and over and over and over at the table. So he is just there, 100%, what he's doing is very, very effective,
I think when we did a lot of training, like mucking around practice table pulling, when we were over in India, in Guwahati, India, and we were messing around on the practice table. And if you ever took his wrist, you take his wrist, he's okay. He's very considerate, right? Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. And then he's set up again, and he's completely different, and very good in the pistol grip. He can pistol grip. If you took his wrist the first time, he'll pistol grip and make you think, oh yeah, his wrist is right there. So you attack it, and he's gone. He's got sort of a lap drag with the pistol grip, and it stretches you out. Oh, he's great.
He beat in India the Zolev Kazbek twice. Yeah. He even had to hold him and waited and just beat him. He said that whenever he beat Kazbek, all the American team was so happy, because usually Kazbek, whenever he beats people, he would just hold in and pose into the cameras and and
case in point, my ass in '96 final.
Yeah, year before. But the same year in India, he did the same thing to Bill Sings. He held the Bill Sings and just he waited, smile. And then whenever Niaz hold him, and he did the same thing, Niaz just waited, look at his face, and beat him. Well, all American team went crazy, Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the guys that came out of the woodwork that year as well was Aslan Hugayev.
Yes. Wow. We didn't know who he is, he just long forearm and just doing the following year. He also beat Taras in Egypt. He also beat him. Yeah, it's very hard to hoop Taras. Same year in Lithuania, Europeans, you were there as well. He beat Germanus there.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny. Taras is a great guy. But if you practice pulling with Ivakin on, you can get, if you stop him, if the match actually stops. I was pulling with him in Italy on the practice table, and he was very, very hard to top roll, which was obviously my favourite move, but with him, it's pointless. So I used to try and keep my wrist flat and just go high hand and move to the side. And you'd lose your wrist a little bit, but if you stopped him, he was beatable. His arm strength wasn't that mega.
Do you know why? Because he wasn't using any joint strength. He was just doing a top roll with only pure muscle, and he was getting kind of far. Remember the same way the John Brzezinski beat him in the Zloty, like this way, and also Rambek did, also Devon Lara did in Dubai, this way. So he is not with the joint lock. He is just kind of far, arm wrestling with the muscles. He puts you out of position, but his joint pressure is not so good against the people who are arm wrestling with the joint lock.
Yeah. And the thing was with Taras, he was so wonderfully designed to top roll. That great big table tennis ball thumb he had, really unusual. Couldn't really get a bite on it. I always liked to pull him more with a strap. I was going to pull Taras, I wanted a strap, because with a strap I could get something into him, Without the strap, he was such an awkward customer. Great top roller, fabulous arm wrestler. Yeah. Now then, let's get into brass tacks,
Let me start with a story that I heard from the Russians. In fact, the Ferry told me this story. Yeah, Ferry told me about like 2 weeks ago that, we were talking about Cobra. I and Ferry, we were in Ankara. And then he said that, it's a brother, Engin, I will tell you some story. It was 2007 World Championships in Bulgaria. And do you remember the Russian trainer guy, short with the mustache?
Yes.
With the broken ears, the wrestler from Dagestan? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He passed away. Rest in peace.
Oh,
and
sorry to hear
that. Yeah. This is what Ferry told me. And he said that, he told Ferry that I will tell you a story. And he told Ferry, it was 1999 Vladikavkaz. Yeah. And he said that, Ferit, we gave Cobra all kind of alcohol he wanted. We gave him everything. Night before the competition, he said. And he passed out. He just like couldn't even open his eyes anymore. So he
like Andrew?
Yeah. He says that everyone. He said that people from his team came and carried him to his room because he couldn't even move anymore. And then we were like this, yes, we got it, he can't do anything tomorrow. And he said he came and kicked all of us ass, next day.
He was iron in Vladikavkaz. Absolutely phenomenal display by Cobra that day. My God. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Did you know that some of the Russians there even competed, by representing other countries, like Fadzinov represented Azerbaijan and some others, there was more than one Russian and they didn't pull each other. The draw was like, Cobra had to beat all the Russians one after another.
Mate, they did that a lot. They did it in Italy. They did it even more so in 2002 Poland, 2001 Poland. 2001 Poland Worlds was ridiculous. In my class, there was at least 9 Russians. And that's why it turned into a big shit show, because afterwards, well, we're not getting into the politics of it, but it was ridiculous, And it was guys like, Abdullah Eldarov, who everybody knew was Russia. And it's like, mate, he's not from Tajikistan. And they're saying, Abdullah from Tajikistan. No, he's not from Tajikistan. He's Abdullah. Everybody knows who he is. It's not even like a good fun. It's like me showing up at a talk with a false moustache on and going, "No, my name's Bob." No, it's not. No, you know who we are. I've seen it for the last 20 years. It is crazy. But anyway, I never cared too much about that because you're there to arm wrestle people. Class, if they're in your class and they've weighed in and they've made weight, cool. Arsene Liliev's the king. The king! Send somebody else to weigh in. That's my favourite ever story, that. Awesome. Okay, you want to hear a good story? You want to get stories? You go and travel around with Pascal Gerard, right? Because Pascal Gerard, we go to a tournament one year, and there's like, you'd meet people at the airport. So there's like 10 of us met up at the airport, and Pascal's one of these guys. And this is back in the early days of Pascal when he had the big, like glam rock haircut, and he's got his whole leather stroke cross red Indian attire on. It was a good look. He looked the nuts, but not so good at an airport. Chains and daggers and stuff hanging off.
Yeah.
So everybody gets through airport security. Not Pascal. Pascal's pulled up, and he had a guy travelling with him called Jean-Paul. Really nice lad. And Jean-Paul spoke like no English. The only time that Jean-Paul spoke any words of English on the entire trip was when I was standing at the other side of airport security with him. Because we've been there for about 40 minutes, right? And Pascal's not come through. And you can see Pascal's really disgruntled. When they picked him out of the line, he was really pissed off. He's looking at him and they're going, "Come on, take your boot." And he's like, "Oh, come on. I don't want to." So they're getting his boots off, completely strip search him. Rubber glove going on, he got absolutely hammered. Me and Jean-Paul at the other side of security, it took us 2 seconds to get through. And Jean-Paul can't speak English, and I'm just going. And he turns around, he goes, "Pascal, always the terrorist." It was the biggest statement ever, because we went through like 4 airports that day, right? And every single one strip search Pascal's house.
It's expected,
Everywhere it went. No matter what country, didn't matter what airport, didn't have to say or do anything. Strip searched his house every time. Oh, I was pissing my sides off. It was a bit frustrating.
You really sounded like Pascal when you talk like that.
Oh, man.
When Pascal is talking, he's very quietly. You need to listen to him very carefully. And he's just like, like a spy, He's just like, just like giving you a secret or something,
He's amazing.
Very cool.
What a guy. Another like he has. Just a tremendous bloke, tremendous arm wrestler, and he's in there forever. Had some incredible results. But we should get into the show properly, mate.
Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna bounce about a bit today and cover a few things, but from the sort of Engin Terzi story, we got up to 2005 European Championships, I believe. I think that's where we sort of left off. So a number of messages were sent over. Can you ask Engin where he feels his level was at that period of time, and more specifically, because you'd come up in weight class, you were on the climb in terms of the weight categories. And a lot of people sort of asked a similar question, so sorry for sort of not naming you all individually, guys. I know there was a lot of you out there. But the reason for that is all the questions were pretty much in the same area. Where do you feel you're most suited to weight-wise at what time in your career?
70 kilo.
70 kilo is your optimum. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the overriding question or the reason that people were asking the question. They wanted to know.
Yeah, that's why more than half of my world titles are in 70 kilo.
Because you've won them as low as 55, I believe, and as high as 75.
Yeah, I won all of them. Yeah, every weight classes that I pulled, I won the world title. Yeah. And every weight classes that I pulled, Europeans, I won European title. But most of them, more than half of them, were in 70 kilo. I was 70 kilo in my prime. That is what I believe. I see myself 70 kilo. I wouldn't consider myself in 75 kilo. I could if I wasn't injured so much. I didn't have the surgeries and that. If I have taken care good, then I would be also good in 75. But we cannot just talk by opinion, but we should just talk by the result, what happened. So it is 70 kilo.
Yeah. The interesting thing though, mate, you've gone bigger than that. We've seen you pull where your body weight's been over 80 kilos, and you're still extremely, extremely strong. But the interesting thing, and I answered some of these guys that sent the questions over, as well as asking you it, and I just sent over, well, the funny thing is that when Engin was 60 kilos, 55 kilos, 60 kilos, he was still pulling bigger men in competitions all over the world, North America, travelling around and giving people a hard time up to super heavyweight. So I think the limiting factor is the number and the quality of athletes at that weight class, and why risk injury. If you're competing at world level, the higher you go above your sort of natural elastic frame limits, and you're having to pull at the edge of that elasticity all the time because of the leverage, the more chance you've got of damaging yourself, which ultimately, if you want longevity in your career, not a good move in a material battle like arm wrestling. Just not good,
But just think this way, like I run after my dreams. Do you understand? Like for me, like beating some heavy guys is almost as heavy as winning a world title. Like beating, I don't know, some of those guys that I pulled, or just giving very hard time to some of the top guys who are like near twice of my class. I mean, it is just something to like achieve, just like. But I will also tell you something. Whenever you put your eye to very high targets, then it made the things easier in your class.
Oh yeah,
Do you understand what? Yeah.
Shoot for the moon and hit the stars thing, isn't it? You get the higher your aspiration. You usually find that you pull your level up slightly anyway.
Yeah, just say sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think that we were talking yesterday about the fact that you're training again now. and I wanted to link this to sort of that natural high aspiration, goal setting mindset that you have. Because yesterday, when we were talking there, you said, oh yeah, I've been doing a bit of training, and I said, have you got a goal in mind? And you said, yeah, I want to pull Arthur Makarov one more time. I mean, holy shit, Arthur Makarov's the man. Very likely.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not an Eckler,
very strong,
he's right there. You know, if you're talking about the man at that weight class, Makarov's in that conversation.
Right now, Irakli is higher class, and then Arthur is the man there. Under 75, nobody can touch him. You know, he has been winning. You know, except last year. And that Irakli guy is not a normal guy either. He's very strong. Have you ever seen him training with Levan? Have you seen his training video with Levan?
Irakli is immense. He's mega. You know, he's one of those shows. He's a really, really solid puller. But that, you know, the point that I'm making there, Engin, is that your aspirations now, at our age, and you're still chasing the dude, you know, the man at that weight class. So you've never been the type of guy that's shying away from challenges. You're always trying to get to that top spot in your own mind, you know. And let's recap on what you said yesterday. You remember the conversation we had? I think it was our second start yesterday, and I said about your, I'm going to say, obsessive nature within the sport. And the question I asked, which I just want to reiterate, was when people start a sport, so you want to go into tennis, windsurfing, whatever the hell it is, there's a period of time in most normal people's career where they will be obsessively focused on that sport and all that it entails and all that it embodies. And you spend most of your time thinking about pursuing or doing that sport. But when you've been doing it for years and you've won multiple world titles, European titles, etc., a lot of people's interest in that or level of obsession on that may wane. It might drop off a little bit. And I said to you, how many times in your average day do you think about arm wrestling right now? Just tell them again, what was the answer?
I mean, it is most of the time, but I can say not most of the time, but more than anything else. But it also depends on where I am. Like if I would pull Makarov now, and if I would beat him, which looks very hard, then next day after I beat him, if I can, which is very hard, but then I would be thinking less of arm wrestling. But whenever I say that, you know, I want to beat Makarov, that point that I decide till I pull him, it's just like one time, like the one mission that I lock myself there, and then it is always like even. Like whatever I am doing, the half of my mind is just there, you know, I am never relaxed like this, but I'm like, oh, I need to lose the weight. I need to, do the diet. I need to heal the, you know, injuries. I need to do this. I must do this day, you know, this training. I'm just thinking, you know, okay, I do this one. And then after this, I need to train this muscle group and this muscle group. Or maybe I do the table time that way, you know, and then I need to do with this guy in the way that Arthur is going to pull me. And, you know, all the time the calculations, sometimes overthinking and sometimes I get so confused, you know. That is why sometimes I just call Haydar Abi, you know, Haydar. And then I'm like, you know, I talk with him. And then because he is looking at me from outside with objective eyes, and he is not like, he's not like, how to say, he's not in it. So he sees everything more clear than I do. So whenever I discuss with him, you know, like even 10 minutes, I get the right decision. I made the right decision about things.
You're right. So here's the thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Arm wrestling right now, we've just had Gary Roberts come back in from Arm TV. You know, if you've not got over to Arm TV, guys, Gary Roberts' channel, one of the OGs of arm wrestling, certainly the YouTube type material that you'll see in arm wrestling. Gary Roberts was the originator of that in many respects and did some really high quality, wonderful stuff. Get yourself over to Arm TV, subscribe, check that stuff out. It's amazing. And
can I say something about Arm TV?
Yeah,
can I say? Yeah, some people are asking, you know, why I am not on the videos of Arm TV except like 2003 WAF and something like that. But the thing is, my US career was between 1997 till 2003.
Yeah, it was prior to Gary, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's 6 years, yeah. And then I come back here, and then I start competing Europeans and Worlds mostly. But Gary started doing his job after 2004. He started in 2004. That is why it was after my time. That is why we didn't really meet each other. So you can continue. I just wanted to clarify this.
Yeah. No, good point, mate. One of the things I was getting to there was you've got Gary coming back in. You've got so many people, and all of them are riding on the coattails of, arm wrestling's in a really good place now. It's resurgent. It's going forward. And one of the things that occurs to me, your hunger and appetite for the sport, and you do shows where you'll speak to people, similar to this, where you'll speak to guys that you know and you'll talk to them about arm wrestling because you enjoy that. But I think that the biggest opportunity for you on YouTube is if you started a YouTube channel, Engin, which would be focused on training for arm wrestling, day after day after day after day. Because you're one of the few guys that has that, number one, the knowledge, and the detailed knowledge. That's the thing. It's not just that, it's the point of difference, the detailed knowledge and the appetite to discuss that and to break it down. You know, when in the World War, I remember reading a story. During the World War, there was a library that was burnt down by the Nazis during the war. And because of the knowledge that was contained within the library, it set the world back tremendously in a lot of instances because of the fact that all that knowledge was burned and lost.
Oh, I understand your point.
And I think it would be a travesty, mate, if you got to a stage in your life, in your career, where your enthusiasm had burned out and you hadn't shared that absolute wealth of knowledge that you've amassed in a pretty incomparable set of circumstances. Very few people have done what you've done, followed the sport as in depth as you have, had access to the number of high-level arm wrestlers from all over the world for so many years. And I also think it would be financially rewarding for you, and I'd love to see that, because you deserve it, because you've devoted your life to arm wrestling. And I think you've got to offer, well, you know my feelings. I said I'd send my sons to you in a heartbeat to learn how to arm wrestle. Because it's a source. It's like going right to the bloody unicorn, you know. You, Gashevsky, a couple of other guys out there that I can mention.
I mean, come on, Neil, yourself as well, you know. You know, you are one of the few person from the Western Europe that, you know, hunted the Eastern monsters, you know. It's not many of them did it. And it is even harder someone from Western European country to do this, while the competition level is so high in the Eastern countries. In the Western Europe, the level is not so high, so it is not so easy someone to be alone and at world level and then just bringing himself, you know, to the level to win the world titles against those Eastern monsters, you know. So,
thank you. And but I do think that there is an absolute wealth of knowledge that you can impart on young arm wrestlers, people coming in right through to Ron Bath. Me, I'd come and learn from you in a heartbeat. And everyone else. So where you've got that point of difference is it's not just first rung of the ladder. It's like first rung of the ladder to the moon. And if you were to do that, and also you're tireless in your efforts to do that, your pursuit of furtherment in the sport is second to none, Engin. So I just think it'd be a great opportunity to ground yourself in an area of the sport where I think you'd be very comfortable. You've got longevity, and I know I'd be subscribing tomorrow. You know.
I understand. Yeah. I was thinking to write a book or something. You know, John asked me once that, you know, when are you going to write a book or encyclopedia or something? He asked me once. I'm just thinking, but just through this, there is one thing that I am still learning, because the knowledge is an ocean. You know, if anyone says that I know everything, that the person is just like, I mean, not a smart person, because we all learning. That if I didn't continue learning, I couldn't win world title even 24 years after the first one. So you need to really improve yourself. I won the last world title while I was like probably 65-70% of my best, compared to the past. But when you have the knowledge and you have the experience, you can do the things, So I'm just saying that so still I'm still learning, and but from one side I learn more, and I also forget from one other side that the things are not I would say it's not fitting my head anymore. Like many things, I'm from one side new things coming, from one side I'm forgetting things. That is why I think I need to start writing down.
Well, this is what I mean. If you were doing this live on a daily, weekly, whatever it is basis, probably weekly is more realistic, and you can plan these sessions out. Sort of even a 15, 20-minute session, involve other guys and bring things in. But I do think it's a niche for yourself, which would be welcomed and with open arms by everybody in the arm wrestling community. Anybody who's serious about their arm wrestling, if they didn't want to listen to what you've got to say on that topic, wow. Yeah, you need to give your head a wobble. So
but I think I need to turn the comment section off. That also just people just just they sometimes make some comments that I'm a type of guy. I'm world champion in arm wrestling. But if I would talk about football, I told you yesterday that if I would talk about boxing or wrestling, if there is a guy that is world champion, I would be quiet and I listen. You understand? I would be quiet because I am world champion in arm wrestling, not in wrestling, boxing, or the another sport. So if I am talking with a guy who bring himself to the highest level and kept himself at that level for a long time, it means that this guy knows something. And then, but I may be someone, knowledgeable about arm wrestling, but not in that sport. So I would just, if I wanted to learn something, I would ask with respect. I would just say, if you don't mind, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Even he may be wrong about something, but it's not my place to tell him this. Do you understand?
No,
but it's just not. And so, but whenever I go, and then the guy tells me, oh, you're wrong about this. You this. I was like, just know your level, And then he thinks that I say it's because of my ego. It's not because of ego. Of course that, there is one guy that knows while there is another guy that doesn't know. I mean, if he knows something, just prove it, man. Come on, I never proved my knowledge by talking. I have done it. I have pulled it. I pull against all the best guys, and I train like up to 10 world champion guys. You understand? I train many guys to become a world champion, and then it means I proved it. If you know something, just prove it. I mean, if you have an opinion, just share in a respectful way. Don't come and bug me, oh, you're doing wrong. You don't know this and this. I'm like, what the hell, just go away, And he thinks that, like I am just trying to make knowledge to be higher than, confidence, ignorance. Because that is how the world will improve. If knowledge is quiet, and then the ignorance with confidence is coming and just, bugging this, just like, come on, that's not my, and I don't care if I lose popularity or something, as I said yesterday, I don't care about the popularity. Like there is something that makes me alive is just because I do what I believe right to be. And so, I'm open to learn, but not in that manner, So if they don't like me or this, it's fine, If you don't like me, it's okay. I'm just gonna say whatever I believe. I'm not gonna say some things or do something that, which I don't believe just to make you happy so that you would follow me, you would praise me or something. No, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I would always look forward to the World Arm Wrestling Championships, the European Arm Wrestling Championships, because of the fact that it gave me access to guys like yourself, Svetan, even guys like Ginito Hakim, Lorenzo Villar, and guys like that who were real master arm wrestlers.
Yeah.
And others, when I was in the US, I love to, to try and pick apart some of the guys, get advice, tips, knowledge, and I found that it was, if you got beaten at the World Championships, it was not the end of the world at all. And I think that's a good message to get in your head, guys, if you're out there. See, you go in there and you get your ass kicked. So, you've got an absolute font of knowledge in that room. The collective minds of arm wrestling from around the world are all in that room. They're all there. So you can go over, and if you are respectful with these guys, and if you speak to them, they're there because they love arm wrestling. And most of them will take the time, as they did with me, will go on to the practice table, and if you just shut your mouth and listen, you can pick up gold. It's great. And you come back, and then you can game on, you know.
Just more they respect, more they will receive. Trust me. Yeah,
certainly my experience. And that went across, you know, the lads from Russia, Ukraine. I'd go and speak to them. I'd go on the table with them. Fadzinov, great example.
Yeah.
Didn't speak English. I spent ages looking at it. I'd just go over onto the practice table, and he would just make gestures and show you, this position, and then he'd go, and I was like, great. And it because that dude could hook. Yeah. Unbelievable, you know.
Yeah. It's like same as Ivan Matyushenko, you know. It is very hard to topple, you know.
Yeah,
those guys.
Matyushenko's a great example. What an animal that kid is.
Yeah.
Ivan Matyushenko's an absolute beast, you know.
Yes.
Doesn't look nothing. Great bloke, again. Lovely guy. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, not aggressive either.
No, not in any way. Nothing to prove, as he's tired.
Look like you would say that he just came there to watch the competition. He doesn't look angry. He doesn't. I mean, he's just very calm guy. He just does, you know, whatever. He's good at it, and he's successful. You know, I respect him a lot. I realized he was good the first time he lost Taras super match, and he lost 6-0. But then whenever he lost it, but I saw the pictures of it, and he was able to control Taras's pronator. But the arm was opening. So I was just saying that the arm will develop as long as you have a hand wrist, and the hooking ability to, you know, control Taras's pronator. It means that the future is bright. Is bright.
Yeah, it's funny. I was out all night with him that night. It's funny you mentioned that.
What's that?
That night when he pulled him in the super match in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I was out with Ivan all night. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You did the announcement there?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So
you are the best guy for arm wrestling. You're the best guy. You do everything.
It was good because Ivan obviously is great, speaks brilliant English.
Yes.
So we just went for a drink and chill out, went for something to eat, and went round a few bars. It was good night actually. Yeah, good evening. You know, you learn a lot of stuff, and it's great to meet the characters as well. To just meet the man behind the arm wrestler, and fabulous opportunity for anybody at those big events. As I say, get out, meet these guys, pick their brains, particularly the young arm wrestlers that are coming in. I mean, it's funny. One really good example, Gabriela Vasconcelos, right?
Yeah,
is the most wonderful person, just an absolute little star. She's ace. Lovely girl, the most endearing lass you could ever wish to meet. She'll walk around the World Championships, nobody's talking to her, say shit to her. You know, few friends will go over but nobody's saying, "Oh, Gabby, can you come over?" You don't see a lot of the young girls saying, "Gabriella, can you take me over on the practice table, show me some stuff?" You don't see a great deal of that. Now, if I had a daughter, I'd be like, "You need to get over there, and you need to be speaking to Gabriella, and just learning, picking up as much as you can.
Yeah.
Talk to her, try and get some knowledge, tips, advice. You know."
I see that the countries who are not so successful, their athletes are doing this kind of things. But the athletes of the countries which are successful, they are trying to go with what they have already. But just arm wrestling is not so new sport anymore. It's like 30 years easily. It's very high at the international level. And, some countries like Kazakhs, Russians, Georgians, Bulgarians, Ukrainians, even Latvia, Turkey, they have their, they are not like on only one way, but because there are some different teams and groups in these countries, but, they all have, their own way to reach the top. and they are mostly depending on what they know, because it took like years, decades to come to that point. It is not so easy them to just go somewhere and then say that, okay, teach me this, and then change everything right from the, beginning. I don't think so. I realize that, they are just going their own way, They are like, but nobody can say that, this country is doing right, this country is doing wrong. They all are doing right, because, it would be ignorant to say that there is only one way to reach the top. There are many ways. Armwrestling is a beautiful sport, and then there are a lot of things to do there. That is why if you are learning, and then those young guys who are fans or the new arm masters, they need to realize that before they teach to people like you and I, they really need to think that, they need to learn a lot as well. This is all I try to say. It's nothing about like you putting yourself to a high level on putting them to low level. It's not about the personality or characters, and we all are men. What makes us a better man is not arm wrestling. I don't say that. But if we are talking about arm wrestling, it's just normal that, the people who gave their lives to this and proved themselves, that it is normal that, they know something, to just don't go then and, disrespect them and just say like, I see some of the, I'm not going to name it, famous arm wrestlers. I see the comment section that, how they disrespect to, guy who is the opponent or the guy that, his fan. You understand what I'm saying? This guy is disrespecting that guy, saying some things. This guy, of course, we cannot change the world, there will always be people. But I'm just saying that at least on my page, I will not allow this just because of the sake of popularity. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to, everyone needs to be respectful.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate, without a doubt. It's funny, when you put your page notes out, I always, going back to the point I was making earlier, that level of interest, that level of obsession with the sport that you have, I'll put, in the evening I'll be sat there, I'm looking through social media, and the amount of posts that you put out which are creating hype, a buzz around the sport of arm wrestling is huge. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm a big believer in the fact that something like a tutorial channel would be massive. Because a lot of people are
just to reach more people, right? Just to reach the more people. Yeah, that's what we are saying.
And hardcore arm wrestlers as well. The guys that are practicing the sport, are fans of the sport, and are looking for that furtherment, because it's not easy to access that level of knowledge, We're at 43 minutes in this show, ladies and gentlemen. We deviated a little bit off the sort of Engin story, but we are going to touch back on that. But when we've got Engin on the show, it's just me and him chatting. We always get into all kinds of stuff. We're going to go into another show in a second when we wrap this one up. And we're going to talk about some of the topics and posts that Engin put. Oh yes, it's on now. We're going to talk about some of the topics and posts that have come out recently. 43 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen, hope you like this particular episode. With that wraps this one up. I shouldn't really call this the Engin Terzi life story, this one, because we didn't really get into that.
No. I will tell you something, to talk about arm wrestling with you is like most fun than, many things in my life, you understand? It's just like, just 4 or 5 guys, whenever it is on, for the, YouTube or something, everyone is just being a little bit, different, more like, including me, like what will people say, or think or something. But whenever, if you were in the same room, no cameras, like 5, 6 guys, John, you, Devon, it would be the most fun, just to argue and laugh and discuss and, remember the past things, it would be biggest fun,
Absolutely, mate. I couldn't agree more, and that's what had happened when we're at the Worlds or something in one of the hotel receptions. It's pretty much what's gone down for the last 15, 20 years. So it's just really a reflection of that. And I know that you'll talk about arm wrestling above and beyond all things, we were joking yesterday. I said to Engin, if a guy walked into a room and said, Engin, we've got some girls next door, listen, you can either get a blowjob or talk about arm wrestling for half an hour. Engin would be like, who's in the conversation on arm wrestling?
Yeah, you're gonna put me in trouble, you know. My wife is gonna kick my ass because of your comments like this.
She can hear. She knows I'm only joking. But for real, he really would. He'd be like, yeah.
Yes. I choose arm wrestling. Yeah, that's
110%. Ladies and gents, if this is your first time on the Supernatural Strength channel, please like, share, subscribe, mother fluffers. And remember, Engin's not going anywhere. We're just warming up. So watch out for the next one in this series. We're going to be getting into, there it is. Front and central. Still got it. Look at that, eh? And I think I'm going to be honest there. That left's looking pretty brutal, mate. That left's definitely in that can be a bit bigger.
But how about this one?
How you talking? That's the kind of stats that I've got, son. Yeah. Believe me, I've got that. I'm working on the McDonald's sponsorship as we speak. Ladies and gents, all the best to everybody out there. And until I'm back on here with Engin, take it easy, peeps.